Well, hello and welcome. My name is Markus Müller. I'm the founder of Pristine Systems. Did you ever ask yourself what the purpose of a business plan is? What the use case is? Who's going to read this document? Well, in most cases, it's going to be somebody who's investing in your company. So you're motivated to come up with a document to really nicely explain what your company is all about, and you put it on a table from an investment banker or venture capitalist, angel investor, a bank, you name it. Some person or former entity who's willing and able to give you the money. It is really important to think not only this way for the external view, because the business plan has a very important function for your internal controlling, because you need to define where you want to go, where you're heading, what the competition is doing. So basically the same information that you have in a regular business plan, this is what you would need for your own company internally as well. I thought about this for quite some time, and I came up with 4 different choices or use cases of business plans, as I call it. You can get this document on my website if you like. So what is it all about? So I thought about it this way. So you have an internal view of a business plan. This is on the left side, and you have an external view of the business plan. So this is a very big difference in terms of how it looks. So here on the right-hand side, you have a little bit more business style. And you have really nicely charts and high quality paper and printout and binding and all of this. This is on the right hand side. On the left hand side it can be a little bit easier because it's only for internal purposes. So let's start with the first row. The first row is just a summary level in both cases. So the internal summary can be quite short, like 3 to 10 pages, really short. Or the external summary can be a little bit longer, but needs to be in the range of 10 to 20 pages. I mean, 10 might be quite okay. Don't go more than 20 in this case. It doesn't really make sense because then you would be here. So going to the internal work plan compared to the external presentation, and this is exactly the name that I was using here for one of my clients. So the internal work plan is really focusing on your business from an internal view. So how do you go about the next financial goals and so forth, and what, just to go through it here. So 20 to 30 pages, including exhibits. You have an informal style. All the financials need to be in there because it's a key thing. I mean, you cannot really left out anything. So if the full truth of a financial statement is in any document that you use for planning purposes, this is exactly the document here. Now, you might massage it a little bit if it is going to the external view, but you absolutely need to have the full truth for your internal purposes, right? So all charts are in a very simple form. You don't have to be to put in the CVs or the resumes, and low quality paper and just stapled is just fine. This is basically what you should put together. And I highly recommend not to hire any consultant to do this for you, because you need to understand your own business. So this is something you probably could put together within a week or two. I would say maybe 50-hour plus is what you need to put it together. You don't have to research extensively the market because it's for your internal view. However, you should. I mean, just based on experience, most business owners don't put in the time. So of course you can hire consultants to do that for you, specifically when it goes to the right-hand side for the external presentation. This is, the biggest effort, of course. But here we go for the big funding rounds and the venture capitalists. So it really needs to be a very good document. It can have 30 to 50 pages, which would include the exhibits, of course. And it needs to be in a business style, all financials in it, very nicely prepared. All the charts are in business style, so it really looks appealing and interesting. You have to put in all the CVs from all the key players, so your board basically. And the highest quality print and binding is required here as well, of course. So if you have this, you can basically create everything else out of it. But be aware that if you contract somebody for your external presentation, it's probably in the range of $5,000 and more. So because you definitely need something between 50 and 100 hours to put it together. And from here, it's very easy to make just an external summary. So the external summary would be really good for new investors and smaller funding rounds, but it looks very appealing and very nice. And if you go after the big money, you're right here. And then last but not least, maybe you have a situation where you just have a known investor. somebody in the family, a good friend or so, he needs to have something. He certainly doesn't require this or this level here, but some information about your company, and then you're basically back on the internal level with a really short internal summary, and that might work for that person. So this is how I suggest you have to think about a business plan. And most important of all is you do have to have one specifically for your internal work plan, for your internal purposes. Otherwise, you don't really know where you're heading and how to control your business. Okay. So I hope this helps a little bit, and I hope to see you next time. If you found this information helpful and you would like to get more of my small business systems tips absolutely free, then please visit www.freesmallbusinessvideos.com.